right, Lee, welcome to Charging the Agency Frontier. Today I'm grateful to interview a friend of mine, an agency coach, Lee Goff. As most of you know, I've worked as an agency coach and consultant myself over the years, in addition to matchmaking. Nowadays, I have a handful of go-to coaching resources that I recommend, and Lee Goff is one of those resources that I recommend and somebody that I'd like to introduce you to today. So he's the real deal. He's built a seven-figure agency, retired. He made a successful exit, since exiting his agency. He spent an entire year fine-tuning all of his tools, his courses, his coaching programs. He's recently released a book. I think he's recently released a 12-month program, making a lot of things happen. He also runs a group of 1,200, 1,300, probably more agency owners.
Around 2,000 now, I think, a little shy.
Around 2,000, so grown really quickly. So, quite a big community that is brought together. So without any further ado, Lee, love to have you introduce yourself and kind of share your backstory.
Well, thanks, Robby. I appreciate it, man. I've really enjoyed getting to know you over the past year. So we used to have so much in common. We've got to get together one day, we both are all about bringing the best resources to our base, even if it's a competitor. And that's one thing I love about you and a few other people that I've been gravitating towards, just because everybody does a little different and their personalities are a little different. And it's just really all about finding the right solution or coach for people out there they're working their asses off. And so I feel like it's our job to only bring the right solution to them, right? So anyway, thank you very much for having me on. I appreciate it a lot. Again, Lee Goff. I founded an agency. It's called Get You Wired in 2003. Built that into a wildly successful deal. It was big names. Legally I can't drop it in the names, but trust me, they're household names that you all out there have heard of. You can probably go to their website and see a lot of them. But work with an entire country and different things like that. Country of Fiji, I can say all that. Anyway, sold that in 2000. I retired from it in 2013, sold it in 2016, the summer of 2016. I had some health issues, had a heart attack in the summer of 2016, ironically, about the same time. So at that time, I kind of had to figure out what I wanted to do when I grew up, right? And so the heart attack was induced from stress, by the way. The majority of it was stress, not all of it. There's not usually one thing, it's usually a few things. And so stress and small business diet and all that fun stuff. And so I kind of sat down and did some soul searching and realized that I almost missed out spending, basically, you can't, here you go, Robby and I are both very proud dads. And I realized that I almost missed out, on raising her. So I dove headfirst into creating a coaching program that would make agency owners' lives easier, right? We're all entrepreneurs. We've all got that disease, and we can't get rid of it. Once you're hooked with that disease, you're going to have it for the rest of your life. So just give them the tools and help them grow and help them and take care of those babies right there and make their lives easier. So that's what I do now, man. I took after selling my agency, I took an entire year and a half, actually, almost $200,000. Hired 2 President's Dean List sales and marketing double majors, brought them in. We sat down for over a year and did nothing but research and develop over 75 tools, 10 online courses. So I like to say my stuff is about 33% my experience. It's the other 66% were filtered through my experience, but they were inspired from other agency owners or research and development on Google and whatever it is. And we brought all of that in and we created, in my opinion, and in most people's opinion that have been through it, just probably the world's best group coaching program out there. I mean, it's unbelievable. So there's 75 tools, 12 online courses, one-on-one time with me. You get a small group community. It's all based on my book right here, Agency Success Roadmap. So if you want to see what it's about, you can get a copy of that. So and today I think we're going to talk about the value of coaching, which is a really cool topic. And so is that what we're going to do today? Is we're going to talk about the value of coaching?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, I actually recently ran a poll in the agency stable, and it was interesting. I think, about half worked with a coach, about half didn't work with a coach. A few were looking at that option, and then nobody was really, anti-coaching. It seemed like overall positive sentiment about coaching, but I think there is some education needed, and there's a lot of options out there. There's a lot of coaches out there. And then there's life coaches and business coaches and agency coaches. And I recently was on the phone with a business owner, an agency owner looking to, level up in different areas. And, it was hard to tell Does she need a life coach? Does she need an agency coach? Does she need an agency coach focused on growth? Does she need an agency coach focused on scaling, on operations? There are all these kind of nuances. So I'd love to just get, kind of your feedback and ask some questions here and your perspective on, coaching overall, and then we'll cover any ground we miss at the end.
Okay. Yeah. What I want to do is I want to start with how coaching actually impacted my life, because I'll tell you right now, as an agency owner, and I see this a lot in our space, probably every industry. We live in this one, so I'm assuming it's probably all of them. But a lot of times we can't get out of our own damn way, and that was the 100% me. I just felt like, honestly, I didn't feel like I want to burden anybody else. I feel like I could go research and figure it out myself. I just always leaned on myself first, and then it got to the point to where. In 2012, that it became too big for me to tackle, right? So, and what I mean by that is there's a rite of passage as your agency grows. You're gonna have to come out of the entrepreneurship mindset and get into the old school CEO mindset. Well, to make that transition was very difficult for me, because I was just, piss and vinegar, man. I was just hustle. Here we go, right? And so to slow down and to become a traditional CEO, I was a fish out of water, man. I didn't know what to do. I was like, oh no, all the stuff that got me here all of a sudden now is holding me back. And I'm like, oh God, I've spent my whole life to get here. Now, what do I do? I had no idea. I had really literally had no idea. And so we went out, and when I say we, I had my leaders at the time. They were managers, and I figured out that I wasn't quite naturally gifted at being a CEO like I thought in my head that I was, and so I went out and found some mentors, and Clayton Mask and Scott Martineau at Infusionsoft. Luckily, we were one of the world's largest Infusionsoft certified, probably one of, if not the largest, one of the largest, as us and one other company that were by far the largest in there. And so they kind of invited me into what's called the Elite Forum. And it's a mastermind mentoring program for seven-figure businesses that were in their ecosystem. And I'm going to tell you right now, having access to guys like that, okay, it can be a 30-second conversation. I mean, sometimes, okay, that you just get that, that little nugget, right, of just like, oh, damn, I've been working on that for a year, and what he just said or she said that's it, and then you go back and you take action on it, right? And you do it. And so that's what happened is Scott Martineau gave me the framework for what's called, it's Jim Collins, this book right here. It's called Beyond Entrepreneurship. And that's the beginnings of the framework for me to put in the vision, mission, core, KPIs, leadership, and everything else, right? We had all the skill sets. We had all that stuff. But I didn't know how to become that CEO, like I said, running it by the numbers and systems and processes and all that stuff. And so we dove headfirst into that, and just a couple of years later, it went from barely breaking seven figures to multiple seven figures in a matter of 3 or 4 years. I'm now a CEO. So to put it in context, the first 10 years of me trying to figure all this shit out, okay, by myself, I don't know, 1 point something million, less than 1.5. I don't remember the exact number, 1.2 or something like that kind of thing. And it's hard. It's the hardest ones to break through that first one. But once I got that coach, and once I got that experience and that guidance and those tools, a lot of people underestimate the tools. Those tools are very important. Man, it's like throwing gas on the fire, and it's the things that you don't know that are sneaking up and get you, right? That's why they call it a glass ceiling, by the way. It's because you can't see it. It's clear, and you don't know why you keep butting your head up against the damn glass ceiling. It's because it's things that there's just rite of passages that you got to learn, and people that have already done what you're looking to do. That's, by the way, that's the key. If you're going to hire a coach, don't just go get any traditional business coach. Get a coach that's actually done what you want to do. And it's absolutely critical, because the nuances in every industry they're a little different. So get an agency business coach. Okay, me or whoever. If Robby will take you on, take Robby, me or whoever. But get an agency coach that's done what you want to do. And I will tell you right now, it will explode. It literally, if you'll put in the work and listen to your coach, a good coach, it will change your life for the better. And Rod, I bet you have a story, something like that. I bet you've had,
I missed out on mentorship and coaching and stuff like that when I had my agency, because I was young, and I built it into a 7-figure shop and everything, but it was all kind of by myself, but it was very lonely and it wasn't a good experience. And now I've been a part of organizations like YEC and stuff like that, where it's vetted, $1 million businesses and up kind of thing. And it's made a huge difference. It's opened up my eyes and, built a lot of relationships. So certainly a ton of value. And I've worked with coaches now, whereas I never worked with coaches before. And, the difference is great. It's just important, I think, to figure out what it is that you want out of that coaching relationship. Do you want accountability? Do you want solutions? And then align yourself with, like you said, somebody that really has been there, done that, and can speak from experience versus just, I learned this in a curriculum and, I'm kind of giving you pontificating on, advice. I think maybe that works for life coaching or certain situations, but I think when you're an agency owner, it's a particularly hard business and it's got a lot of complexities and nuances that take a lot of time to understand. And frankly, you having, been through a lot of stuff over that first decade that you mentioned, I mean, that's all experience that now you can relate to other agency owners that are going through some of those pain points.
I've failed thousands of times. I was only successful once. Okay. So learning from the failures and continuing to push through those failures and never giving up, that is how you become successful right there. Just push through it, keep pushing through it, and getting a coach to help you push through that, the accountability and the motivational part of it. And not only that, saying, hey, yeah, the reason you can't break through this is because of this. It takes it from a year figuring it out to like a week. Okay. It's just a no brainer. You know what I'm saying? It's a life-changing thing. It's wonderful.
Yeah. Love it. All right. So a question for you. What is the number one thing holding agencies back? Meaning, what is it that keeps aspiring agencies from becoming a CEO that's running a business and not working a glorified job, kind of switching from that entrepreneurial to CEO mindset that you were talking about earlier? How does that happen? I mean, you need to bring in outside help to make that happen?
Well, okay. For the first couple of minutes on this, I'm gonna vent. Okay, because I feel like, kind of to the point just a second ago about getting a coach that's actually done what you want to do. I feel like a lot of the people out there right now are attempting to kind of woo the agency owners into their coaching programs. They don't really have their best interest at heart. They're all about the money, the shiny object kind of scenario, and they take advantage of that. And I'm not a big fan of that. And so my vent would be this, is again, if they cannot 100% look you in the eye ethically without lying, and prove to you 100% that they built a big agency and sold it, then don't hire them. I mean, don't fall for the shiny object bullshit. It's just that simple. Do your homework, dive deep into it. And so to answer your question, just bluntly, is what they're really, really missing are real world coaching and real world tools. I mean, have you ever seen a professional athlete didn't have the right equipment or the right tool? The right equipment or the right coach? Like ever?
No.
It doesn't happen. It's never going to happen. And so if you ever want to be a professional and you want to graduate from being that freelancer working 40, 50, 60, 70 hours a week, making 50, 60, 70,000 a year, to being a CEO to where you've got 3 or 4 or 10 or 12 or even 30 or 40 employees, 40 plus like I had, right? To doing that, well, you have to get the coach. You have to get the tools. In our world, it's the tools, not equipment, right? But in our world, you got to have the tools, you got to have the coaching. And so that's the thing right there. The number one thing that's holding them back is the head trash. You got to get out of your own way, humble yourself a little bit, go get help from a real world coach, someone who has actually done what you want to do and that can bring the tools to bear and that has the experience to help push you forward. And most importantly, hold you accountable and tell you that's some of the dumbest I've ever heard in my life, move forward, or that is absolutely brilliant. I wish I would have thought about that. I'm going to steal it. They're your partner in crime. A good coach is very motivational, kind of a partner in crime. So find a good coach, a real world coach, not a fluffy, shiny thing that actually has real world tools. That's the best thing you can do. And I always tell people this. I'm like, in my opinion, agencies kind of have a tendency to gravitate towards the shiny object or what I call the sizzle. Okay. And I would caution them to take a step back and just kind of gravitate towards the steak, not the sizzle. Okay. Just make sure you get the steak, not the sizzle. So.
You keep talking about tools. Can you elaborate on that a little bit? Is there a list of tools that agencies need?
There is. I have 75 of them in my program, in my group coaching program. There's too long of a list to kind of list all of them here, but I'll give you a real quick overview. So, for example, in your service framework, you're going to have, there's 5 different types of legal agreements, okay? And there's scope documents, okay? What's called phase sign-off documents, change order documents, your KPI management spreadsheet metrics, meaning like what's called your billable, non-billable, whether or not you're profitable or not. Okay, and that's just off the top of my head. I think that's about 9 or 10 of them right there, not including, altogether that's about 12 or 13 documents if you got a 7 or 8 step project management process. And then on the proposal side, on the prospect engagement and proposal side, you got to have your elevator pitch, you got to have a sales deck. Okay, and then the sales deck leads to the proposal. Okay, so there's actually a path and a process. Most people just kind of gunsling the sales thing, but if you've been doing this for a while, you realize that is not smart. You need to have it begin with the end in mind, and you got your lead magnets that kind of pre-frame. Got to have those. Okay, then the lead magnets will hopefully get them to where they at least listen to your elevator pitch. You got 30 seconds. It better be damn good. Okay, and then from there they're like, oh, that's pretty interesting. Do you have any more information? Well, they're not asking for a 3-hour soliloquy on something like that. They're asking for just a little bit more information to see if it's a good fit, meaning you got about 5 minutes. So you better have a sales deck that can go through who you are, your history, your philosophy, your, what you do and how you can help them. And then at that point, they're like, oh, great, this is awesome. Let's schedule a meeting and get down to the details. And then you generate a proposal based upon the details, right? So these are all tools, real world tools that you're going to have. And you're going to have to figure out. And again, just the sales deck part alone took, I don't know how long it took me to figure it out. And there are examples, but you got to figure it out for your agency. I mean, you can go download all the free tools you want from Google all you want. The reality is you're probably going to get 10 of them, and it's going to just confuse you more than it would have been if you just gotten the right answer from the right coach the first time. Okay, so downloading all this stuff from free stuff from Google a lot of times can hurt you as much as it can help you. Just make sure that you're going in the right direction. So again, that's just off the top of my head, about 15 or 20 of them. There are, man, are you kidding me? There's just in my group coaching alone, there's 75, but over the years, probably about 120 of them just helping agencies and things like that. So after the sales, after the prospect engagement phase like that, you'll get into like sales and marketing automation is a good example. You're going to have mind maps on exactly how the prospect engagement flows. So back to the sales side, you got the lead magnet, the elevator pitch, sales deck, proposal. Okay. Well, at the same time, okay, you're going to have an automated sales pipeline structure in place. So when they get that lead magnet, now you're nurturing them automatically. Okay. You got a sales pipeline that's coming in. You got to have all the email copy and all the email templates and all of that stuff. You have to have all of that stuff. So you can spend a ton of time trying to figure it out, or you can just get the roadmap and have it all right there in front of you. So it's a lot easier when you have all these tools. So.
Gotcha. And talk to me about your 12-month program, and then does it really take participants 12 months to see results, or is that on kind of a monthly basis, or how have you structured that?
No. It definitely does not take them 12 months. It actually takes them typically about 2 to 3 months. And so what happens is when we come into the group coaching program, we have a one-on-one interview. Okay. You can't actually go to the website and buy it right now. There's nowhere to go buy it. You have to come through the process. agencysuccessroadmap.com/group. Go there and read up on it and fill out the enrollment form if you're interested. No credit card, no nothing like that. You will talk to me. There's a process. You'll go through the scheduling and all that fun stuff. And so the group coaching program, again, you get access to the 75 tools immediately. You get access to the online courses immediately. And then the next class is going to start. It starts about every 90 days. Okay. The next one is coming up in a few weeks, the first part of May, and another one will be in August. And, so what happens is we've got 12 months of accountability and workshops. So we open up all of the tools, all of the courses. We have a one-on-one interview and we have a one-on-one coaching session before the group coaching session. The group coaching live workshops and all that stuff happens, and accountability happens over time. Okay, so you come out of the gate with all these tools, one-on-one with me, all the online courses, and there's a guy named Brandon Hopper that came on board not even a month ago. And this guy gets in there, and literally in 3 weeks, I get into a coaching call with him on Friday. This guy has all of his products done. His niche is 100% done. His proposal, it's unbelievable. He signed with my proposal template a $4,000 a month retainer engagement. The highest monthly retainer engagement he'd ever gotten before that was $2,000. Simply by using the damn proposal template and using the products that he did in the first 3 weeks of the course. He plopped the products in there. The products were based upon value now, so he could get the pricing up. And it took him 30 minutes to do the proposal template. Goes in there, the guy's like, yeah, no problem. Done. It was over. It was over. That's just one of the, like a while ago, I was talking about one of those nuggets that can change your world. You know, this guy, he had 2 clients he's been wanting to fire for over 2 years. They just drive him insane. They just, the 10% of clients take up 9% of your time. Well, and he is like, oh my God, Lee, I cannot wait until I can fire them. I'm like, don't fire them yet. I mean, not yet. You got the $4,000 retainer. That's going to take care of what you were making from them. But let's get them all kicked out of the gate, going really quick, get them going, get them happy, get one more in there. Okay, a good rule of thumb is to double the revenue before you fire the revenue. That's just a good rule because, life happens. Life happens. You don't want to get rid of some paying clients, even though they're a pain in the ass, that are paying your bills for a new shining client. And all of a sudden, that new shining client has a bad day. Okay, so you gotta kind of manage that risk. So, to answer your question, most people see huge impacts in their lives. Okay, because see, the way coaching helps, it's not just about more money and more sales. It's about freeing up your time.
Love it.
Yeah, and so you'll see it pretty instantly in 30, 60 days. So.
Let's kind of switch gears and talk about productizing your agency. I saw a lot of activity around that within the last year from you, and I think you created a method to basically standardize deliverables clients so that clients get custom solutions. How do you do that? How do you approach productizing your agency?
I tell you what, unbeknownst to me, I kind of cracked the first 20% of productization in my agency because we realized that if we ever got in these long drawn out sales processes and proposal processes that we were losing money, and we were hemorrhaging money. So just to let you know, if you're spending more than an hour or 2 on your proposals, you are hemorrhaging money because, let's say you're only closing 30 or 40% of your deals, which is a very high percentage, by the way. You're 60 to 70% you're literally wasting probably 10, 15, 20 hours a week. Okay. It's not feasible because you only got so much time. Okay. So what we did is I started working with dozens and dozens of agency owners. And they all knew that we are going to crack the productization code for the agencies because it's been tricky. The digital component, it's very, very tricky, very, very, very tricky. And so it has ultimately evolved into what's called the Legos. I'm not just a weird guy with Legos in my office. There's actually a reason for that. All my coaching programs, I'm big on visualization. So I'll have, Legos, all kind of stuff that's happening throughout there. And so when you put it together in what's called a Legos pricing model, something really cool happens. And, for anybody in your audience who's bought a new car, you ever bought a new car before, Robby?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So, it's something really cool when you walk in there. You get to pick your color and pick the stereo system, nav system, type, whatever. You literally kind of build it out how you want it, right? And when you go get in that truck or car, whatever, you drive off that lot, dude, I'm not gonna kid you, feel like Superman. You literally, you're like the first one. You're like, oh, it's like Superman. You're like, this is the best thing ever. Well, let me break it to you real quick. There's probably 1,000 cars or trucks on the road, just like the one you drove off the lot with, that you really think you're Superman because you just drove off this custom car. Well, there's probably 40 of them in California, a few hundred of them in Hawaii. They're everywhere. It is what it is, but it doesn't matter because how do you feel about it?
Yeah.
That's all that really counts, right? Is how the end consumer feels about it. So they don't care how much time you put into it. They don't care if it takes you 30 seconds to deliver them 100 leads and you charge them $10,000. They don't care if it takes 30 seconds. They just want the 100 leads because they want to make more money. That's all they care about. Okay. So what we did is we came up with what was called the Legos pricing model. So now you have to break everything that you do down into what's called objects, individual objects, like a Lego. Okay. And how many kids you got, Robby? You got 2? Is that right?
3.
3. Okay. I got 1. You ever seen kids play with Legos?
Oh yeah.
It's pretty impressive. You can take the same 20 Legos. Let's say we take, 5 green, 5 red, 5 yellow, and 5 blue. We got 20 of them. Give that same combination to 10 kids. You come back. How many different Lego products are you going to have, Robby?
10.
10. Every single damn one of them will be totally different, but they all started with the same blocks, exact same building materials. That very, very simple philosophy holds very true for productization. Okay. Same thing with Henry Ford and the Model T back in the 1920s. You can get any color Model T you want in the 1920s as long as it was black. You couldn't customize a car back in the day. Why? Because they were figuring out what an assembly line was. They didn't even know what it was. They were figuring it out. Well, the same thing happened in our industry. Okay, hey, you remember Netscape? Prodigy? AOL? Remember all those?
Yeah.
We were figuring it out. Well, now we've got it figured out. Now we know what tools we're going to be using. Facebook's not going anywhere. Google's not going anywhere. WordPress is not going anywhere. The dust has settled, and now we can take these and we can build our own little objects out of them, meaning that Google AdWords can be, I'll take it back to a Facebook ad campaign. Here's one example. Most people try to go in there and build out all this fancy custom, all these different things like that, and the client is like, what the hell are you talking? They don't even know what the hell they're talking about. They're like, what? So just keep it really, really simple. A Facebook ad campaign is this: 2 ad groups, 5 ads per ad group. 1 campaign does 1 product. 2 ad groups, 2 emotional buy points. Like, if it's a Lego, I like green, I hate green, whatever it might be. Okay, and then you have ads for those different emotional points. $500 setup fee per campaign, $350 a month to manage that simple campaign. You can have as many as you want. It scales perfectly. Your setup fees scale perfectly. Your monthly residual scales perfectly. You can do volume discounts. 10 of them, $3,500. Tell you what, I'm gonna hook you up, bro. $2,750.
Yeah.
That is the absolute most simple example out of all of it. But if you break it down, let me give you one more example. WordPress website, never based upon the amount of pages. You get 5 pages in your base model, and then you have Legos, 3 packs of pages. So you got 5-page WordPress website that's templated, $5,000, custom, $10,000. I need more than 5 pages. Great. How many pages do you need? I think I'm going to need about 20. Okay, great. Here's a pack of 3 pages. Templated, $500. Custom, $1,000. You needed 20 of them. 6 times 3 is 8, whatever. You do the math, you can get around to wherever that is. It's another $6,000. It just bolts right onto it. Document management, great. Here's our Dropbox module add-on. Here's our newsletter add-on. Here's our this. Everything becomes an add-on, just like a car. You have a base stamp model of whatever it is, Google AdWords, Facebook, doesn't matter what it is. You distill it down to the absolute base level, and everything is a stackable value add-on that you can come in and build out. So they come in, they're like, hey, my website sucks. Great. WordPress website. We don't need anything special. We're going to add some document management on there. We're done with the website. Forget the website. Well, okay, we need a landing page because we're going to be driving a lot of traffic to it. Okay, there's still in what's called the asset creation phase. Okay, so that's client path. Okay, well, let's add that landing page for the Google AdWords. Great. There we go. WordPress website, very simple, just more of a brochure type website. We're going to add a very simple little document because they're attorneys and they send stuff back and forth. But we're going to drive a lot of traffic from Google to this landing page. So this is going to be a Mac Daddy, long form, whatever, sexy landing page. Okay, great. Now we got all of our digital assets in place. Now we're going to test out Google AdWords, okay? All right, that's the setup fee. And they added on another campaign. So the setup fee included 3, and then we got 1 more. So we got 4 campaigns going in Google. All right, Facebook, setup fee, and then add as many different things as you want. So now we've got your WordPress website, your document management, the landing page, Google, Facebook, ad campaign, and they love it. Oh, wait, you don't want Facebook? Let me take that off for you. Hold on, let me take that off for you. They helped to build this. They can't argue with the logic behind it because guess who can build it? They did. You just gave them the Legos to do it. Empower your prospects and your clients with their own set of Legos, and they will empower your bank account with your own set of money. It's wonderful.
I like it. I feel like I just got coached. Right.
It's really, I'm really dumbifying it right here. There's more to it, but I have an entire spreadsheet, framework, workbook, all these things that we walk you through, and it's just magical. I mean, it's really neat. It's liberating. So,
gotcha. All right. The name of your book is Agency Success Roadmap that you brought up in the beginning, but why and how did you come up with the name? Just curious.
Very, very, very a lot of brainstorm, very scientific. You ready? I got that Facebook group, so I just ran a poll just like you did. So I ran a poll, and I was like, at first it's going to be Agency Blueprint, but one of our competitors is using that, and so pulled back from that. I think you were the one that put the word. Wait, aren't you the one that gave me the word roadmap?
Perhaps. I think I weighed in. I'm not sure.
I think you weighed in, but so here's what I did. I did a poll, and I did the first 5 options, and it drilled down. Okay, that's pretty cool. I take that and I just drilled, the top 2 options, took those, 7 or 8 words, broke them up into another 5, and then broke them into another 5. So ultimately the community helped to pick the name of the book, and it was fun. It was an absolute fun process. So it was really, really neat. So the agency community, along with my experience and coaching students and all that fun stuff, is how we came to that. Very, very scientific. So.
So, and then on the coaching side, what is kind of your sweet spot? If agencies are watching this from the agency stable or from your group or from other channels, what is your sweet spot? Is it the startup agencies? Is it the 7-figure agencies looking to get to 8 figures? Is it, what is the ideal coaching client for you?
Well, when I first got into the coaching program, my sweet spot was the glass ceiling spot, $750,000 up to about $7 million. Then I got into the space and realized that the 90% rule, the overwhelming majority of agencies are beneath that. And my goal is to help as many people as I freaking possibly can. So what I've done is if you're just getting started and you're stupid broke, which we all are, nothing wrong with that. We all start there. Trust me. Okay. You're just trying to get into the freelancer stage. Get the book, $7, $140 worth of free tools. It's the best thing you'll ever do to get it going. It's for anybody. Okay. Now for the freelancers, right after that, there's three levels, right? Okay, Robby, I'm talking about the very people just getting started and kind of trying to figure it out. The freelancers have been doing it for a couple of years, got that $70, $80, $100,000 revenue, contractor maybe, but how do I get out of this working my ass off phase? And then you got the glass ceiling people around that, somewhere $500,000, $750,000 up to the 7 to 10 million, right? So this is for the people who are just kind of brainstorming and figuring it out, all the way up to the multi-millions, because even at the multi-millions, there's going to be a few things in here that can help you. But if you're just getting started, just read every damn word of this. Okay.
You said it's only $7. Where do you get it?
agencysuccessroadmap.com. If you go to Amazon, it's $21.95 on Amazon.
So go to your website.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, go to agencysuccessroadmap.com. And on there, you'll get a digital copy for $7 and $140 worth of free stuff. So you'll actually get a lot of free stuff. That's the best place to go. Now, for the people who are the freelancer wanting to graduate, the group coaching program, I built it. That is why that program was built. The entire program was architected and engineered 100% to be a low-cost, high-powered program that can take the freelancer into the CEO role. Gotcha. That's what it's doing. And then my one-on-one coaching program is for that that glass. Yeah, I call it the glass ceiling level, somewhere right around that $750,000 mark and above. So,
gotcha. And then finally, how can people connect with you?
Let's see. Well, if you go to Facebook, I have a group. It's Marketing Agency Success Roadmap Group. AgencySuccessRoadmap.com is where you can get the book. My primary website for all of my online courses and everything else is marketingagencycoach.com. And in any of those, you can get in touch with me. So
it's a good domain name for SEO. I like that.
Yeah, no, we're crushing it in SEO right now. Yeah, no doubt. So I'm not really big into putting the brand around me. Okay, I'm not. A lot of people talk about the personal brand, and I learned that lesson the hard way, because whenever it's all around you, to unravel yourself, if you ever make it to the point that you ever want to remove yourself from that company, it's just about impossible, So I'm just
I had a similar situation in my previous agency when I was younger. I mean, it was I got offered buy me out, but essentially also no, but you got to stay on board for 3 years and sign this contract.
Yeah, because everything's Robby. Yeah, everything's Robby. You get to transition. And it's a freaking nightmare. It's tough. And so the whole personal branding thing, I mean, you can do that, but I have to admit, in business, I tell people not to do it because of that, the unraveling aspect of it. And truth is people aren't going to go out there and type in my damn name. They're going to type in what they want. What do they want? They want a marketing agency coach. That's what they want. So keyword rich URL always worked really well for me. So
cool. All right. Well, I appreciate your time, and I think we're at about half an hour, which is when people start to go to sleep and all that good stuff. So I think it was a good amount of time. Gotten really good insights, especially on the coaching side and into what you're doing. So appreciate that. And hopefully we'll get some stable people into your group, and maybe some people from your group and our group, and cross-pollinate and continue to help out each other on that side. And just appreciate you, Lee.
Thank you, Robby. I appreciate it so much for having me on. And if there's anything I can do for you or your community or your tribe, don't even hesitate. So
thank you, sir. All right.
Thanks, man.